Hi, I am Michael Santos, and in this video I will teach you how to understand investing. At least I want to provide an introduction to understanding investing. It's really a complex subject, and I'm going to do my best through a series of videos that will help you get a better understanding of investing and how to build prosperity. And it's my hope that you find these videos worthy enough that you will subscribe to the channel and use this as a resource as you begin your investment career. Now, I am specifically making this series of videos for young people who don't know much about investing but definitely want to learn. And I'm also making it for people who are burdened with some level of struggle, but they want to get ahead and they don't quite know how to get ahead. My job is to try to help them as much as I can. Now, to start, I want to recognize that a lot of people talk about wanting to get ahead, but they don't quite know what it means to put in the work and to do something about it. I'm somebody who had to do something about building success and prosperity in my life because I once lived in massive struggle. I was in prison for 26 years, and you can read about that story if you want by downloading my book, Prison to Paradise: How I Built Assets Worth More Than $5 Million within 5 years of getting out of prison, and how you can succeed too. Simply click the link in the show notes that accompany this video, or click it on the banner of my YouTube channel, and my automated system will send you a free digital copy of the book. Now, here is what you're going to learn. You are going to learn the strategies that I use to begin creating wealth. And you're also going to use the very clear tactics that I chose to begin building success. First, I had to really follow this very principled plan, and it's the same plan that got me through 26 years in prison. So if you're watching this video, it seems to me that you are the type of person who wants to invest in yourself and wants to start learning. And to start learning, one of the first things that you can move forward to is to understand that you've got to learn to think differently from the crowd. Because building a financial engine that creates wealth requires that we think differently from the people who move along with a herd mentality. Statistics show that those who go along with the crowd, they never achieve the same levels of success as individuals who learn how to think creatively, who learn how to develop critical thinking skills, and who make goal-oriented, values-based decisions. Successful people know what they want to achieve, and their visions of success become a very clear goal. And that is a clear goal that they can use to chart a course that will take them from where they are right now to where they want to go in the future. And the first thing that they have to do is define success in your life. That's essential. So I'm going to challenge you by asking you that question: how would you define success? Then I'm going to ask you to engineer a plan that will take you from where you are to where you want to go. And this isn't something that you can do in 5 minutes. It isn't something that you can do without giving real methodical thought. You've got to invest time and energy to come up with this plan, but this plan can change your life. And then you have to use your plan to put priorities in place. You have to know that it's going to be a series of small steps that are going to take you from where you are today to where you want to go in your future. So you should always be asking yourself, in what ways are you making decisions today that are going to put you on this pathway of taking you closer to the goals that you want to achieve in your life? Then, once you have your plan and you have your priorities in place, you have a real model that you can execute this plan every single day. And when you live by this principled basis of visualizing success, of creating a plan, of putting priorities in place, and executing a plan, you can move towards success deliberately. Now, can you describe the very deliberate steps that you're taking that will relate to your success? Because if you can't do it right now, you will be able to do that if you go through each one of these videos that I'm going to be creating for this course. Now, one thing is certain: I will never ask you to do anything that I am not doing. I'm totally transparent, and I will respond to any questions that you sent. Either post your questions in the comments section of this video, or send them to me through my website at michaelsantos.com, or you can get them to me any way that you want. If I get your question, I am going to do my best to respond in a manner that will help you share the strategies that I used to begin building wealth. It's my way of trying to be the change that I want to see in the world. But I also encourage you to download the free cheat sheet that I created on investing. That cheat sheet will help you understand the types of questions that I ask to help me come to an organic decision that I am making the right kinds of decisions. And I will share with you how I make those decisions, and also why I look at how businesses operate as a, I don't even know how to say it, but as a gauge, because I look at investments as part of my business plan, but I am now strictly in the business of investments. And I chose that path instead of trying to operate a business. You see, when I got out of prison, I was 49 years old, and I knew that I had to prepare for success. So I laid out a plan for me with putting priorities in place, and it was a plan that I could execute every single day. And the goal that I set forth was to build a business that would generate at least $1 million worth of assets within 5 years. So to achieve that goal, I had to think about the different options that would be available, options that I could pursue that would take me from where I am to where I want to go. And it's because I had that plan that I was able to not only achieve that goal, but really move beyond it. And I really believe that you can do the same thing. But start off by asking or responding to questions like, what goal are you striving to achieve over the next 5 years? I really want to encourage you to think in 5-year terms. And what options do you have available today that will help you get there? And have you put your plan in place that you can follow along, and if you execute, you know it's going to take you to where you want to go? Regardless of whether you answered yes or no to those questions that I am proposing to you, you may find some value in learning from my thought process. I want you to learn from what I did to achieve the $1 million goal that I had set out. And really, the one thing I had to do was think differently from the herd when I got out of prison. In my case, that wasn't going to be a problem. See, I'd been thinking differently from the prison mentality through the entire 9,500 days that I lived as a prisoner. And if you want to achieve a higher level of success, you've got to think differently from the herd as well. Thinking like the herd just gets you the same results as the herd. But when I got out, I didn't have much in the way of anything. So if I was going to build something better, I had to think, how am I going to create it? Especially since I don't have any money, since I don't have any work experience, since I don't have any credit. Fortunately, I prepared myself well during the 26 years that I served inside. During that time, I read a great deal about business. And by understanding more about business, I developed more confidence that I could become successful as an investor. Now, one option when I got out to begin working toward my first million would be to start a small business. That was an option, and I had to think about that. But the second option would be work toward just investing in assets that I believe would grow in value, and ultimately, that's what I chose. Either option was going to require a lot of hard work, but it wasn't the type of work that was going to be similar to what most people in the herd do, which is working by the hour or working for a paycheck. I had to have a different mindset because I'd lost so much of my time in prison. Now, there's nothing wrong with working toward a paycheck or working by the hour, but if you want to create more prosperity in your life, you also should learn how to think differently, how to open your mind. And that's what I want to teach people, at least the strategies that I used. I chose to become an investor in real estate for some very specific reasons. But before I can get to those reasons, I really think it's important that I talk a little bit more about small business. Because business is really, I guess, the barometer that I can use to assess whether my real estate investments are performing as well as I'd like. And now I have more than $5 million worth of real estate assets, and they throw off an income of more than $400,000 every year. I rely upon that income to pay for the debt that I took on to acquire those assets. So in this course, we're going to learn about both equity and debt and different types of assets and using leverage to acquire assets. That was the strategy that worked for me. But it's not the only game in town. It's not the only strategy that's out there. I just want to show you what worked for me with hopes that it will help you create a strategy that is going to be the best for your life depending on your circumstances. So again, I encourage you to download the cheat sheet, download the free book, visit michaelsantos.com, and you will learn a lot. In fact, you can follow along to read about all of the different transactions that I did, and you could also read about the financial results that they generate every single month. And I hope that you're going to learn from all of this work that I am doing, because I truly believe that you can achieve a high level of success if you can just learn to think like an investor. At least think like in according to the strategic, deliberate ways that helps me make investment decisions. Now, as I said, I chose to begin building prosperity by investing in real estate. But if I didn't understand much about business, I wouldn't have felt confident making investment decisions. After all, I not only had to build a portfolio of assets that are worth millions of dollars, I also had to take on millions of dollars in debt. And I used that debt to grow my prosperity. So to teach you about investing, I want to start by teaching you about business. And we're going to start with the very basics. So in this video, I'm going to record just this little introduction about what I am doing and how I did it. And then I would encourage you to go through the playlist of this YouTube channel, and you're going to expect me to go through a series of videos where you will learn like about what does it take to structure a business and get started. Okay? You're also going to learn how to raise capital to start a business. You're going to learn how a company manages assets and financial statements, or uses financial statements to assess how its assets are performing. You are going to learn how to exit a business or cash out, even by taking a company public. You're going to learn a little bit about how to assess the value of stocks that trade in the public markets. And through all of that work, it'll prepare you to understand a little bit more about why I chose to move into first income-producing real estate investments, and then to investing overseas in Belize and Costa Rica, which is really what's taking all of my attention right now. So all of these videos together will help you develop a better understanding of business, investing, and critical thinking. And cumulatively, these lessons are going to help you make better investment decisions for your future. But in order to get started, we're going to take this primer on business, which I'll cover over in the next video that accompanies this playlist. And it's going to be talking about starting the only business that I would have felt qualified to start when I got out of prison, and that is simply starting a hot dog stand. But starting a hot dog stand or any kind of business really requires a lot of planning. So I want to go through that entire process of structuring a business, raising capital, what I do with that capital, deploying that capital, and all of those different strategies. And that's what's going to help us get there. So stay tuned for the next video where I introduce you to Michael's hot dog stand.